Most people who get their hands on $1,000 for the first time do the exact same three things, and every single one of them is wrong. They buy something they don't need, they drop it into a savings account earning 0.01% interest, or they hand it to someone else to manage without understanding what's actually being done with it. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what I would do with $1,000 starting from scratch, step by step with specific numbers, specific accounts, and specific funds. No vague advice, a real plan you can follow today. And if you stick around to the end, I'll share one move that most financial advisors never mention, one that could be worth more than all the other steps combined. Why $1,000 is a turning point. Before we get into the steps, I want to explain why $1,000 is a bigger deal than most people realize. $1,000 is not life-changing money on its own, but it is decision-changing money. How you handle your first $1,000 tells the market and honestly tells yourself what kind of investor you're going to be. The habits you build right now compound just like interest does. Here's a real example. Warren Buffett made his first investment as a teenager with a small amount of his own money, not because the amount was life-changing, but because the decision to put it to work instead of spending it was. Today, his net worth is over $100 billion. I'm not saying you'll be Buffett, but the decision-making process he used at the very beginning is the same one we're walking through today. All right, 6 steps. Let's go. Step 1. Build your emergency fund first. Step 1 is the one nobody wants to hear, but it's the step that makes every other step possible. Before you invest a single dollar in the stock market, you need a financial floor. An emergency fund is a pool of cash, not investments, not crypto, actual cash that covers your basic living expenses for at least 1 month, ideally 3 months. We're talking rent, groceries, utilities, transport, the things you absolutely cannot go without. Here's why this matters. If you put your $1,000 into the stock market today and your car breaks down next week, you're going to panic sell your investment at whatever price it's at, maybe at a loss, just to cover the repair bill. That is not investing. That is gambling with your emergency money. Where do you keep the emergency fund? Not in a regular bank account earning almost nothing. Open a high-yield savings account. Right now, in 2026, Marcus by Goldman Sachs, Ally Bank, and SoFi are all offering between 3 and 4% annual interest. That's real money sitting safely in cash while you build your foundation. If your monthly essentials run $1,500 and you currently have $1,000, your first job is to save that emergency cushion before anything else. If you already have 1 to 3 months covered, you're ready to move on. Step 2. Eliminate high-interest debt first. Step 2. Before you invest, take an honest look at your debt, specifically high-interest debt, credit cards, payday loans, or anything charging above 10% interest per year. Here's the math most people ignore. The stock market has historically returned about 10% per year on average. A credit card charges 22 to 28% interest per year. If you are investing in the stock market while carrying a credit card balance, you are mathematically losing money. You're earning 10% on one side and paying 22% on the other. That is a guaranteed net loss every single year. Paying off a 22% credit card is the same as finding a guaranteed 22% investment. That does not exist anywhere in the market. Anywhere. The rule I use, any debt above 10% gets paid off before I invest a single dollar. Debt below 10%, like most student loans or a mortgage, I'll invest alongside it because the market has historically outpaced those rates over time. But high-interest debt comes first, every time. If your entire $1,000 goes toward wiping out a credit card balance at 24% interest, that is one of the single best financial moves you will ever make. Step 3. Open the right investment account. Now we're investing, but before you buy anything, you need to choose the right account, because where you hold your investments matters almost as much as what you invest in. For most beginners, I recommend a Roth IRA as your first account. Here's why in one sentence. Your money grows completely tax-free. You put in dollars you've already paid tax on today, and when you retire and take the money out, 0 taxes owed. The government doesn't touch a single dollar of your gains. Let's put a real number on that. If you invest $1,000 today in a Roth IRA and it grows to $17,000 over 30 years, all $17,000 is yours. In a regular taxable brokerage account, you'd owe capital gains tax on the $16,000 gain. At a 15% rate, that's $2,400 handed straight to the IRS. The Roth IRA saves you that money completely. Open your Roth IRA at Fidelity or Charles Schwab. Both are completely free, no account minimums, no trading fees, and you can be fully set up in about 10 minutes on your phone. The 2024 contribution limit is $7,000 per year, so your $1,000 fits comfortably inside it. Real quick, if this is already making sense and you want more content like this every single week, hit that like button right now and make sure you're subscribed to 730 Invest. It genuinely helps me keep making free videos like this one. All right, back to it. Step 4. Invest in a simple index fund. Step 4, the core of the entire plan. What do you actually buy? My answer is a broad market index fund, specifically an S&P 500 index fund. This is the single investment I would put my first $1,000 into, and it's what most of the world's top investors recommend for beginners, including Warren Buffett, who has literally said in his will that when he passes, 90% of the money he leaves his wife should go into an S&P 500 index fund, not individual stocks, not real estate, an index fund. What is the S&P 500? It's an index of the 500 largest publicly traded companies in the United States: Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Johnson & Johnson, and 495 others. When you buy an S&P 500 index fund, you're not betting on one company. You're buying a small piece of the entire American economy. And historically, over any 20-year period in the last 90 years, the S&P 500 has gone up. The specific funds I'd use are VOO from Vanguard, ticker symbol VOO, or FXAIX from Fidelity. Both track the exact same index. VOO has an expense ratio of just 0.03%, which means for every $1,000 you invest, you're paying 30 cents per year in fees, essentially free. Both allow fractional share purchases, so your full $1,000 can go to work immediately. Log in to your Roth IRA, search for VOO or FXAIX, select dollar amount, type in your amount, review the order, and confirm. You are now an investor in 500 of the world's biggest companies. Step 5. Automate your contributions. Step 5 is what separates people who actually build wealth from people who just talk about it: automation. Investing $1,000 once is a great start, but it is not a strategy. The strategy is what happens every month after that, consistently on autopilot, whether the market is up, down, or completely sideways. This approach is called dollar cost averaging. You invest a fixed amount at regular intervals, let's say $100 a month, no matter what the market is doing. When prices are high, your $100 buys fewer shares. When prices drop, and they will, your $100 buys more shares at a discount. Over time, this averages out your purchase price and protects you from the impossible task of trying to time the market perfectly. Here's what that looks like in practice. $100 a month invested for 20 years at 10% average annual return becomes roughly $68,000. You contributed about $24,000 of your own money. The market added the other $44,000. That is the power of consistency. Setting it up takes 5 minutes. Inside your Fidelity or Schwab account, find the automatic investment or recurring purchase option on your VOO or FXAIX position. Set a monthly date, enter your amount, connect your bank. From that point on, your investing runs itself completely. You don't have to think about it, you don't have to watch the market,
You just let time do the work.
Step 6, and this is the one I promised at the start that most advisors skip over. Invest in your financial education. I am not talking about an expensive course or a paid newsletter. I'm talking about a small handful of books that will permanently change how you see and think about money. The first is The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Without question, the best book I have ever read on how emotions drive financial decisions and how to stop them from working against you. The second is The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley, a deep look at how genuinely wealthy people actually live versus how people who merely look wealthy live. The third is The Little Book of Common Sense Investing by John Bogle, the man who literally invented the index fund, explaining in plain language exactly why they work and why most people overcomplicate investing. I've linked all 3 of these in the description below, along with a few other resources I personally recommend. These books collectively cost less than $50 and will return more to your financial future than almost anything else you could spend that money on. Knowledge compounds just like money does. The more you understand about how investing works, the better every decision you make from here will be. Let's bring it all together. 6 steps to invest your first $1,000 the right way. Step 1. Build your emergency fund first, 1 to 3 months of essential expenses sitting in a high-yield savings account. Step 2. Eliminate any debt above 10% interest before you invest a single dollar. Step 3. Open a free Roth IRA at Fidelity or Schwab. Step 4. Buy VOO or FXAIX inside that account. Step 5. Set up automatic monthly contributions, even if it's only $50. Step 6. Read the books linked in the description below. That last step costs almost nothing and pays for itself 100 times over. Here is your challenge for the next 24 hours. Take one action from this video, just one, even if it's simply opening the Fidelity website and looking around. One step today builds the habit that builds the wealth. All of the books and resources I mentioned are linked in the description below. Go check those out after this video. There's also a growing list of other tools and guides down there that I update regularly. If this video helped you at all, drop a comment below and tell me which step you're starting with today. I read every single comment. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I put out a new video every week built around helping everyday people grow real wealth without the noise and the hype. Check out the next video because it will help you keep building a stronger financial foundation and avoid mistakes that could slow down your progress.